Welcome to T's Multiverse. I'm your host, Tyrus, and I just wanted to have a little bit of a sit-down conversation with you all in regards to this Haslab Ghost Rider project that is pretty much, I think this thing is about on this last leg, y'all. I don't think it's going to make it. I don't know. I feel like if anything, it may get funded, possibly. But with the way things are looking, folks, it's losing backers. And I just wanted to kind of share my thoughts on why I feel this is the case. Now, if you haven't already, I do have a reaction to this, to the reveal of this Haslab up on the channel, and like I said, I personally was optimistic about this Haslab. I praised the Marvel Legends teams in the terms of how they presented this project. I thought the little highlight video reel that they put together was awesome. I love the accessories and everything that come with this project. But at the same time, there's a few little things that kind of worried me about this project, and I was wondering if it would actually run into any issues, and it has. For one, before I get into this, huge shout out to everybody that commented and shared their thoughts during my reaction video. I appreciate it. I'm always looking forward to your comments, and I want to say this: I agree with everybody, man. That's why I'm making this video, because there's two sides to the coin. There's one side of people who want this project, who want to go all in on it, and there's others who feel like it's just way too expensive. And I agree with both. I'm on both sides of the coin, because although I felt like the presentation was great and everything, I had my reservations in terms of the character choice that they chose to celebrate this 80th anniversary of the Ghost Rider, and also the pricing. I felt the pricing was very steep, man. $350 for this vehicle is pretty steep, man. And on top of that, you talk about choosing a character like Robbie Reyes, who I just feel like, when you talk about celebrating Ghost Rider, I would have thought that you might want to have chosen maybe Johnny Blaze, Danny Keach. Those are the ones that I feel like people are gravitate towards when you talk about Ghost Rider. And I've heard that time and time again. Even myself, I'm more of a Johnny Blaze, Danny Keach guy. And I feel like you got to just be mindful of your audience. Your target audience are gonna be people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, on up, who are collecting these things. I'm pretty sure we got people in their 20s or whatever. But man, I've heard time and time again, like myself, people want to see Johnny Blaze, Danny Keach as their Ghost Rider. And Robbie Reyes, I don't have any problem with him. I felt like if you're gonna do a project like this, why not include everybody? Have either Johnny Blaze or Danny Keach as one Ghost Rider for the bike, and then you have the Robbie Reyes with the car. I think that would have made for an awesome Haslab that really would have been worth, I feel, the $350. You have Johnny Blaze and Danny Keach on the bike with the effects and everything, and you have Robbie Reyes with the car and all the effects that he comes with. I think that would have warranted that price mark. But $350 for just that car, and then for them to follow all of that up, folks, is when everybody was like, okay, it's too expensive. Then the Marvel Legends team, everybody was like, okay, hold tight, folks, because the stretch goals are going to justify the price. And then that's what they were saying. And I was like, okay. And my thing, and I told her, and I even mentioned it in my comments, I'm like, they're saying that the stretch goals are going to justify the price of the car. My thing is, if you're going to play that card, and I had this conversation with, a family member of mine, if you're going to play that, wait till you see the stretch goal that's going to justify the price, then these stretch goals better be fire. They better be on a whole nother level. They better be really good, and they need to look good. So they wind up revealing Mephisto. We knew Mephisto was coming, but Mephisto don't look all that, folks. I was not impressed. I was not impressed with Mephisto. When they mentioned that they were going to be providing more monster type characters, my mind immediately went to the Infinity Saga Surtur figure, which is hands down one of the best Marvel Legends figures that I've ever seen. It don't even feel like it's a Marvel Legend figure. And I wasn't expecting it to be as tall as the Surtur, but maybe, not that far away. So I'm thinking we're going to get these monster figures or whatever, but they reveal Mephisto, and I'm like, that don't look all that. I wasn't impressed with Mephisto, y'all. I mean, y'all let me know in the comments. I just was not impressed. So I felt like that was the first red flag, or the second red flag. You had the price and everything. That Mephisto just wasn't doing it. And then they followed that up by saying, oh, if y'all want Mephisto, then we got to get 12,000 backers. And then that's where the huge problem starts for this project. I mean, the one character that people were looking forward to, you're basically telling them, hey, y'all got to do 12,000 backers to get this thing. And it don't even look that good. So then you had that. And then on top of that, I feel like the Marvel Select people are going to re-release that Mephisto, folks. So stay tuned for that. And when they release that Mephisto, I'm getting that thing because it looks better than the Marvel Legends version. I do not like that Mephisto. I know it's a digital render, but it was very disappointing. Again, I felt like we were going to get something on the level of the Surtur figure from the Infinity Saga. That, hands down, one of the best figures I've ever seen from Marvel Legends. So, and then I feel like after that, that's when the problems really started. And then that's when I was like, okay, they're not going to reach 9,000 backers to get the Robbie Reyes character. And of course, and then the Robbie Reyes character was not only back, but they lost backers. So now they're in a situation where, you put this onus on the collector to not only pay you $350 in taxes and everything on this set, but on top of that, you need 12,000 backers in order to unlock Mephisto, who doesn't look that good. And then on top of that, you don't get the Robbie Reyes character because not enough people backed it in time to hit that 9,000 mark by was the 23rd. So when the Robbie Reyes character was not unlocked because it did not reach enough backers, which I knew it would not. After the whole Mephisto thing, I was like, this thing is not going to reach 9,000 backers in time to unlock the Robbie Reyes character. And it didn't. And then after that, Dan Young from the Marvel Legends team, he took to social media and was basically like, hey, we won't be providing any extensions on this Haslab project, and we won't be revealing any more of the stretch goals. And thank you to everybody that basically went in on it. And that was basically it. And I felt like that was pretty much like the white flag of them pretty much wiping their hands of this Haslab project, because I just don't feel like that was the correct way to respond to the fans not backing the project in time in order to unlock the Robbie Reyes character. I felt like that was basically like you just telling everybody, hey, we're wiping our hands of this thing. We're done with this project. Y'all do what y'all want to do. That's how it came off to me. And I just felt like it could have been handled differently, and, it's $350, folks. And I feel like, I mentioned this in my past videos, we're living in a time, man, where we're really trying to make that dollar stretch, and we all have, other things, more important things that take priority over just collecting. There's something that's called, food and clothing and keeping a roof over your head. And, many of us have families and loved ones that we're with that depend on us and everything. So there's things that take priority over just collecting. But when we get to that point when where we're able to collect and get the things that we want to get, or look at getting the things that we want to get, there are just so many other options out there. I mean, the Marvel Legends team, they're not the only show in town. I mean, that's the thing that these companies need to realize, is that not only is finances tight in this day and age, and can be tight for a lot of us, but there are a lot of other options out there, and there are a lot of other things out there for us to dive into. So they need to be mindful of that when they're presenting these projects. Be mindful of how much you're asking the consumer to buy into, and make sure you're providing something that's really going to, entice the consumer to really want to dive in. Because I feel like if this Haslab project would have been handled a little differently, we would have had a way different outcome than we are having right now. And I feel like price-wise, if you're going to charge somebody $350 for this car, include the Robbie Reyes character. That shouldn't have been a early bird special at all. So that way you get Robbie Reyes, you get him in human and Ghost Rider form, you get the car, you get everything. And instead of telling people that you're not going to extend this Haslab project or provide any more stretch goals reveals, why not say, hey, you know what, folks, we appreciate the support. We know, a lot of you are on the fence about this. So we're going to throw in Mephisto and we're going to throw in Robbie Reyes. So how about that? And I felt like if you would have did that, that would have this thing would have been funded already. You wouldn't have lost backers. Even if you would have just thrown in Robbie Reyes, that would have definitely pushed it to 9,000 backers already. But I just feel like ultimately this was not handled the way it should have been handled by the Marvel Legends team. You live and you learn, and hopefully they'll learn with this experience here. But again, this is just a message to all the companies. You really need to put your best foot forward when you're trying to get us to buy into these Haslab projects or things like that, because there's just so many other things out there that we can also gravitate towards that we may feel is better for our dollars. I mean, I don't know if this thing is even going to get funded, folks. I feel like the longer as the weeks go on, we have until October 31st. I feel like as the weeks go on, folks, I feel like they're going to continue to lose backers. If let's just say if it does fund, you reach 9,000 backers, you still don't get Mephisto, and you still don't get any of the other figures that they were saying that we were going to possibly get, other monster type figures. So you're basically just going to get the figure and the car. And if you guys are fine with that, that's okay, because at the end of the day, it's all about what you want and what matters to you as a collector. It's very interesting to see how these things are turning for a lot of these companies who are just basically putting this stuff out and really not paying attention to what the consumer wants and how they need to maybe curtail things financially. I know these companies are really trying to make money. I know it's a business. They're trying to make, their quota and everything, but you still got to be mindful of where the consumer is at, because if you don't, you'll fall into situations like this and the situation that Mattel had with that He-Man 4-pack. So folks, let me know in the comments, what do you think about all this? Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, folks, be good to one another. Be safe, stay tuned, and I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.